So today, Sophie Cunningham has revealed something that we're kind of half surprised about, but also kind of not, because we saw what happened. The one game where I'll say you're pretty confident that this was happening was second half of Atlanta, where Caitlyn Clark kind of got into it with Stephanie White at halftime. And they come out in the second half. Tash Howard's benched for a lot of it. Kelsey Mitchell gets benched for a good bit of it. And they really go on their huge run where they go from losing at halftime to winning by 20 with a lineup of Caitlyn, Ari, Lexi, Sophie, and Aaliyah. Was that the lineup? Or was it Caitlyn, Ari, Sophie, Dantas, and Aaliyah? I don't know if Sophie or Lexi, was Caitlyn and Ari at the 1 and 2. They just ran. And that was like kind of the start of when they went on that bit of a win streak right before Caitlyn's second injury, where it's like, okay, yeah, this team's running, this team's gunning, they're taking over. And let's take a listen to what Sophie Cunningham has talked about Caitlyn Clark and the system. So obviously this is from our podcast about an hour ago. I just got home. So unfortunately, quite late to this video, so we're going to have to make it now.
Braun, wherever they go, that team will probably be above 500.
Yeah, so basically, her co-host is basically saying that wherever someone like Caitlyn or LeBron goes, their team will be above 500.
Yep. But
is that fair to say?
Yes, but I think that the reason behind that is because those types of athletes, they get to come into an organization, they have the green light, and they can do whatever they want. Where that is very rare to get drafted and be able to control the whole system.
Because, in fairness, like Sophie Cunningham, before this point, has basically said where you get drafted decides your career. Like, if you get drafted to a bad system, it doesn't matter how good a player you are, or a system doesn't suit you, it doesn't matter how good a player you are, you're going to look bad. As we've saw when Caitlyn's trying to play the non-Caitlyn Clark system, she has looked bad. She's not plug and play like Paige Bueckers. Caitlyn is the system.
Right. Was CC making decisions like...
Yeah.
Within... Yeah.
As she should.
No way.
As she should, but I also think that, like, they... Go
that's
ahead.
crazy. I didn't realize that. She's just young. I just didn't think that.
But when you have a generational talent like that, she should have a lot to say of the system. I also think when you have, like, when she got in with Kelsey Mitchell, like, those two, it is very interesting to see how that they have. It is interesting to see how they've grown to be teammates, because both of them need the ball in their hands.
I stand by this. I think Kelsey Mitchell does not need the ball in her hands. I think Kelsey Mitchell wants the ball in her hands. I don't think she needs the ball in her hands. I think we've seen so many times with Kelsey Mitchell, we've seen her just absolutely go and like dominate without the ball. Like, we've seen her dominate as a cutter. I think Caitlyn's not even in the same stratosphere of an off-the-ball player as Kelsey Mitchell. I think, if nothing else, yes, Kelsey Mitchell made the All-WNBA first team this year as mostly an off-the-ball player. I still think the best I've seen Kelsey Mitchell play for the Fever was in that 10-game stretch post-Olympic break where they went 8-2, and before she got notions and started going ISO God again. I do think she got better. She was a much better on-the-ball player this year than last year. She looked for her teammates better. She stopped doing dumb shit early in the offense, especially towards the end of the season. I thought towards the start of the season, it was bad Kelsey Mitchell, but I thought towards the end of the season, she was fucking super. She was absolutely super. Like, borderline, again, MVP of the last 25 games. You could make that argument. I thought she was unbelievable. But I still think she is at her most effective as an off-the-ball player. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree, you don't have to disagree with it, but my opinion with Kelsey Mitchell is she is a better off-the-ball player than she is on-the-ball player. And, like, I understand, I know a lot of people are going to say Kelsey Mitchell needs the ball. I think she wants the ball rather than needs the ball. I think Caitlyn needs the ball because I don't think Caitlyn's very effective without the ball in her hands. I think Kelsey's super effective without the ball in her hands.
But I think that they have played together enough that they both get that opportunity. And when they both can elevate each other, that team is unstoppable. You get what I'm saying?
Also, I guess you guys played at Iowa this year. Like, so what am I'm an idiot for not even thinking about that. But, like,
that's huge.
Yes, of course. We do have a little special sponsor friend, because all of our odds are brought to us by the good folks at Hard Rock Bet. The last play in the
Again, I couldn't care less. Couldn't care less about the gambling. Not only couldn't care less, I'm actively against gambling. I wish I wasn't morally against gambling. I really, really wish, like, I wasn't morally against gambling. Because if I was not morally against gambling, but both my mortgages would be paid off by now. I really wish I wasn't morally against gambling. Because damn, they offer a lot of money. But more money might freaking ad revenue on this channel anyway. But yeah, it is an important thing that we hear that from Sophie Cunningham, that Caitlyn really does control the system. That she at least has some say. And we've seen it in some games where it's like, Steph White did, especially, because it was an interesting one, because it seemed like the Dallas game and the Atlanta game were two games where it's like, okay, yeah, we're playing fever basketball. We're playing fever ball. And I understand. The fever where Caitlyn was, not even Caitlyn, the Stephanie White like won without Caitlyn, but we should really admit it, that like they won in what was a non-fever style. They won these grinded out games where they were low. A lot of them were low scoring, and they made a lot of bad shots. Like that is a fact. They made a lot of bad shots. They made tough shots. Whereas when Caitlyn's there, she just generates easy shots. They won a lot of games through back down grit and grind games, which it's like, look, being able to win like that is something that the Fever could not do in 2024. But like the Fever being able to play gritty basketball and like win with your run and gun style, that's what's going to make the team unstoppable. Because when you have a B game, like their A game obviously is always going to be Caitlyn Clark, run and gun. That needs to be their A game. Just for good at a damn sport, that's got to be your A game. And then you've got a B game to go to as well. But at the same time, if your A game works, you don't need to go to your B game. Whereas Stephanie White's A game is like motion offense and all this, like, you know, get a ball moving side to side, where I'm like, Caitlyn generates so many open shots early in offenses that I'm just like, man, just take the open shot. Just use Caitlyn's gravity to your advantage. And we did see that in the last couple of games before she got injured. We saw that then. So, and look, we're probably seeing it again. That we're gonna see it again next season. That is where the team is at their best. But also, the team is still pretty good. Like, nearly made the finals without that. So when you've suddenly got this A game that is unstoppable when you're at your best, and I think everyone will say it, it was the reason why everybody called the Indiana Fever a dark horse in 2024, was because their system. Like, even Sue Bird was like, man, Indiana, if they just get running at you, they might actually beat you. And the thing is, once you slowed Indiana down last year, they had nothing. They actually didn't. Under Christie's sides, if you slowed the Fever down, you beat them. It was as simple as that. If you slowed Indy down, you won. A lot of teams couldn't slow them down, but if you slowed Indy down, you beat them last year. And now, if you slow Indy down, you don't automatically beat them. They can win gritty games. It's just trying to make sure that you don't fall into the trap of making your B game your A game. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. See you guys.